Hello, welcome. This is a Foxglove's Handiwork. Here we've got cozy crafting, we got dirt under our fingernails from gardening or scavenging for thrifted finds, and a smile on our face. Today's video is getting into making a vest for my future husband for our wedding. Let's get to it. Our wedding theme is pretty simple. It's kind of whimsical, rustic are the theme words I've been using. And the ceremony is taking place out in a field, slightly inspired by the Shire, maybe Bilbo's 111th birthday. And we decided that we didn't want him to wear a suit. It didn't fit the vibe. So what does he wear? We decided on a vest. All of his groomsmen are just wearing a linen shirt, pants, so he will wear the same with a vest to kind of elevate it, make him stand out. He really wanted corduroy. I think it was a great choice. So I was doing some research and came across this listing. I'm just showing the picture, I'm not showing the website. I'll explain why in a moment. But it had the good earthy green. It was corduroy. It looked sharp. It fit the vibe. It fit the aesthetic we were looking for. So he ordered it and it came in and I was a little disappointed. It did not completely fit the picture. I realized rookie error on my end, did not read through all of the description of like what the material was. So here is the vest that we got in the mail. It's not bad. It is a green corduroy vest. It doesn't feel, the material of it just feels a little cheap. One being that you might be able to see a little bit. It just feels like polyester. The tag does say that it's made from a blend of cotton and linen, but the amount of stretch that's in this garment and touching it and having worked with cotton and linen materials, I'm not really in complete agreement with what this tag is saying. The crafter in me is like, well, duh, I'll just make one, right? That's what most logical thought. So we have kept this vest because I'm going to make a pattern from it. He likes how it fits him, and it fits him well even without a stretch. It'll fit him nicely. I'll use this vest as a pattern. I need to find some fabric. What I liked about the idea of going into a fabric place is then I could touch the fabrics and get a sense of the quality of the fabric. And I had heard of this fabric place called S.R. Harris that is not far from where I live, from another YouTuber. Her name is Shannon Makes. Pop up image of her here. Her YouTube channel is amazing. She does sewing, she does DIY stuff, upcycling, super, super cool. And she's working on renovating a house in Nova Scotia. So I've really enjoyed watching her content. She had gone to this fabric store and I looked it up and it was like not that far from where I live, which was super exciting. I decided to go there to look for some corduroy. Here's what I found. So here it is, the nice green corduroy. I have washed it. I ended up purchasing all of this that was left on the bat, or the thing. It was like almost 2 yards. It's definitely probably way more than I need, but I definitely wanted to err on the side of having way more in case I make a mistake. And then if there's extra, I'll find a use for it. So just to show you guys, my walls are kind of green. I hope hope you can see this on camera, the coloring. So what I like about, let me get this situated. I like that this is more of a green than this is. Like next to it, it almost seems gray. I like how this corduroy that I've picked up is more of a richer green color. It just feels so much better. It just has the feeling of a higher quality fabric than this vest. Before we can really get cutting into this, we need a pattern. And that's why we're hanging on to this vest so that I can draw up a pattern. Materials that I'm using are parchment paper, a ruler, scissors, pen and paper, and of course, the vest. I'm gonna start by opening up this vest and getting measurements of the different panels. The back is made up of 2 panels here. I'm actually laying the seam allowance that's been serged together. My game plan is I'm gonna try and take down measurements and then use the parchment paper to make my pieces. So I started thinking, as I've been measuring, how is this information gonna be useful for making up onto parchment paper, and instead just put the parchment paper on top. I'm gonna try that. Okay, that process was extremely fiddly, and I'm having second thoughts about doing that. So, idea number 3 is ripping the seams of this current garment. I've gotten photos. Time to rip it. So, another thing, it doesn't even have real pockets. What's up with that? No real pockets. So that'll be definitely something I'll be fixing. I have now seam ripped the vest into its individual pieces. So before diving into cutting fabric, let's do some more thinking before then. I was doing a little bit of research on YouTube's of people making vests. And this vest originally did not have a liner. I think that's why it had some of those like extra flappy bits. And so I do want to put in a liner. What I think I'll be able to do is cut out all the pieces as is. And then I'll have to find a liner. This was definitely the better choice than trying to make these. It is another day. I have done some more research. I am thinking I definitely took a little bit of a trickier path. If I had just gotten a pattern, might have been simpler, but here we are. I've given them a slight ironing, but I intentionally did not iron them so much that I could not see the former fold lines and even some of the stitch lines to help as I plan out my vest. So I went back to SR Harris. I didn't get any video of it. My hands were a little full. But I picked out this silk. They had half off their fabrics. So definitely made this silk a little bit more reasonable. To give you a little taste, here's the fabric. I think that will be very smart, very hobbity. I think I've mentioned, maybe I haven't, we're going for a hobbit core wedding. So definitely looked up some pictures of Bilbo as inspiration. While I was there, I picked up some thread that matched the corduroy as well. So I'm all set. It is time to cut the fabric. Am I a little nervous? Yes. Do I have plenty of extra fabric? Yes. So let's get cutting. So I know I'll want to make sure that the corduroy stripes are going vertically. So I don't have any tailor's chalk because I'm still very a noob in this sewing garment department, but I had some just like regular chalk that honestly I think I've had for years. I'm like, oh, I might need a use for this. Sure enough, I do. I think I'm actually just gonna start with these two instead of laying them out, since using chalk this is the first time I'll be using it. So, don't wanna dive too deep. Voila! I have the pieces cut and unpinned. We're gonna try some sewing. I'm starting with the back panels. I realized I probably could have just folded it and it could have been one piece. I don't know why this pattern or this design has a seam right down the back. So that's like part of the back collar when it's just, I'm starting with this just straight down, since this essentially just butterflies open. So it feels like a very good starting seam. Okay, so I didn't quite line them up perfectly. I was like, I don't need pins. It's sticky and it's straight, but there's quite a bit of a difference down there. When there shouldn't have been. Oh, Bulldog. Because it's for a wedding, I'm gonna do it again. Take two. Practice makes progress, perfection, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Of course, making sure my right sides are together. Really making sure I'm lining up here. The neck and shoulder. I think that's where I went wrong and it started kind of twisting it. Okay, y'all, I'm stumped. Why is this happening? Are they two different sized pieces of fabric? They might be, but it's still quite a bit of difference. It looks really good when you open it. Okay, do I rip it again? I pinned the shoulder and back neck opening so that that wouldn't shift. I didn't do needles, but I just slowly went and it I still ended up with a gap, but this is definitely the least amount. So I'm gonna live with that. Third time's a charm. Take these out. Voila. We got a back panel. So here are the panels laid out from the back going. So I guess I'll just make my way around. Here is the initial fit. It looks like a vest, feels like a vest. It's not for me, but you know, I just pinned the arms. Okay. Oh, it feels very big. But it's not for me, so we will have to wait until Gabe gets home so he can try it on. A mistake that I've made, it's a rookie mistake, is I forgot about how, oh, there's a bunny. Oh, that's the squirrel. Velvet, because the corduroy is velvet, it has a way it goes. So, and because I did the fabric folded in half, it's wrong, right? Like it's not smooth going down. It's smooth down this way, but then it's smooth up this way. Okay, here is the fit. Will you turn, please? Yes. So it's a little big, but this is very helpful for me to know.
you have seen, we have made it to the lining. It's fun, the silk. It feels very precious. Even though I think silk is supposed to be very strong. As you can hear in my voice, I've been a little under the weather, which is why you've seen more of my hands than my face. But I've started using these clippies because using the pins left quite a hole in the silk. And I was able to kind of scrub them out with my fingernail. But I just thought, since I have these, might as well give them a try. And they're leaving little indents because of the little teeth, but it's not a hole. And I'm not leaving the clips on very long. I have been pondering about pockets. So the original vest had 2 pockets here and then kind of a breast pocket. And pockets are great, love pockets. Pockets are a little more complicated from a sewing perspective. I've seen the videos that I watched researching on how to make the exact same pockets that were on the vest, which were faux pockets. So I kind of went back and forth, and I decided, for the sake of simplicity and because I have some other projects going on that I want to get done before a wedding, this is just going to be a nice, simple, no pocket waistcoat. Luckily, Gabe will be wearing pants that have pockets, so if he needs to store anything like vows or a ring, they can be in there. But for the sewing perspective, they'll just make things simpler. We have a liner, the inside and the outer. Put them together. I've been thinking through how to make this happen. There's multiple ways, and I am gonna do where I sew them together, leave a gap, and inside it out. Okay, so right sides to right sides. I do want to make sure I'm centering up that back seam. That lines up perfectly. Okay, moment of truth. First time, gotta start somewhere. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Nervous. I guess I can always rip it out if it doesn't work. Okay, this is where I'm gonna leave open. Okay. No tears have been shed yet, but it's time to inside out this bad boy. Okay. I made the whole big enough. Okay. Deep breathing, deep breathing. Okay. We're inside out.
that is my vest, or my husband's vest now. Thank you so much for following along. I had promised more regular videos. I apologize. Getting there, those cold, dark days definitely made me just want to cuddle in my bed and not do much more. So as the days get longer, I'm certainly more inspired to pull out the camera again and get going with projects. If you are interested in some of my other wedding videos, video over here is the bunting that I made, and down here should be the video of my flowers and pressing my flowers. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.